Hello, North Gwinnett Middle School bass players and Cruz Middle School bass players. This is Anna again, and I'm really happy to see you. So we're progressing pretty quickly here. Are you ready to learn about your bow? Now, we're going to throw several things to you in this video. The first thing I want you to know is your bow is going to look like this. Now, there's two kinds of bass bows in the world. This kind, which is called a French style. And if you have any friends or brothers or sisters that play musical instruments, you may recognize it. It looks just like a cello bow. It looks just like a violin bow. But we also have what's called a German bow. And if you notice, the difference is this frog here. Now, in your schools, you don't play with German bows, so you don't need to worry about this at all. I just wanted to show it to you so you could tuck it into the back of your head for some knowledge. If for some reason you got home with your bass from the store where you rented it, or if someone's loaned you a bass and your bow looks like this, you need to go back and swap it out because you're going to need a French bow with a smaller frog on it. Now, you notice I'm using the word frog, but we haven't talked about the parts of the bow yet. So let's start with that. The frog is actually this black rectangular piece down here. And the truth is, no one knows why it's called the frog. It's usually ebony. It might be plastic on a lot of your bows. And the hair is in there. That's where the hair is all tied up in there. But the frog is the end of the bow, and that's where we actually hold it. This right here is, you'll hear people call it a screw. You'll hear people call it a button. The truth of the matter is the screw is inside, and this is the button. But this is what we turn, and what it does is it loosens and tightens the hair, the tension on the hair. We'll get to that in just a second. For today though, because we are going to play a few notes, I want you turn it away from you and tighten it up a little bit until there's maybe a ½ inch between the stick and the hair. You want the stick, this is the stick right here, you want it to stay curved down. Now, your bow might be black, it might not be brown like mine. That's okay, they come in different shades of black and brown, that's pretty common. But it still is always going to be called the stick, even if it's fiberglass or carbon fiber. So we have the frog, we have the button or the screw. This right here is the grip. And if you see a lot of other bows, and if you have some free time, you should go Google bow grips, because there's a lot of really neat ones out there. You'll see some that are made of silk in different colors. You'll see this is what's called a silver one. They all have a leather thumb pad right here. You'll see some that are made of fake whalebone that are like black and tan. The grip is really important. Your hand, it protects the stick from your hand. It adds some weight and balance to the bow. On some of your bows, it might actually be a long black piece of plastic. That's a different kind of grip we see also. So if yours doesn't match mine, don't worry about it. They're still bass bows. Just for the fun, because you're extra smart and I'm going to teach you some stuff that's not in your book, this dot on the side is made of pearl, and it's called the pearl eye, just like the eye in your head, in your face. If it has a silver ring around it, like this one does, that's called a Parisian eye, because they invented that in Paris, France. Now, your bow may not have any dot on it, or it may just have a white, round piece of plastic. They're all bass bows, that's okay. They come in lots of different styles. Also, this metal thing right here is called the ferrule, F-E-R-R-U-L-E, and this is called the slide. On my bow, it's made of pearl, mother of pearl, like you would get at the beach, in a seashell. On most of your bows, that's probably going to be white plastic, and all of that holds the hair in there. You don't need to worry about what's going on in there. Speaking of which, this is the horsehair. It is horsehair, it comes from horses' tails. The main thing I want you to know is don't touch the horsehair. Touching it ruins it. This is the head of your bow. This white part is called the face plate. The face plate is easily broken. The bow is easily broken. It's actually very fragile, so I want you to be careful when you handle it. No sword fighting, no lasers, no saber, Star Wars fighting. The bow is a really important tool. We want to treat it with a lot of respect. Now, once you have your bow, the first thing you're going to do is rosin it. And the rosin comes with your rental. Most places here in town will give give you rosin that looks like this. This is called Pops base rosin. Some places may give you a different name brand. That's okay. They're all base rosin. They all work great. Here's the thing to know. Please do not use this rosin on a violin, viola, or cello bow. And do not use violin, viola, or cello rosin on your bass bow. The two rosins do not mix. So if you have a brother or sister that plays viola or violin, y'all can't share rosin. Now the very first time you rosin, when you take this out, if you notice, it's super sticky looking, and that's because it really is sticky. This is tree sap. I can dig my fingernail into this. I could actually stick a quarter on top of it and sit it out in the sun and go back an hour later. That quarter will be sitting in the bottom of my rosin. It's very, very runny. You may want to make sure you always keep it upright in its container and closed when you're not using it. Please do not set this on the side of your dining room table like this and go to bed. In the morning you'll wake up to a little puddle of rosin and your mom or dad will not be happy with you at all. When you get this, you're going to actually tear off or bend down just a little piece of the wax paper so that you can actually get at the rosin itself. And then you pull the hair. We're only going to go in one direction, and you'll feel, this is really sticky, it'll kind of grab. And you shouldn't need but 3 or 4 swipes. You won't need much. When you play, if it makes noise, you're good. What you don't want is it to be so sticky. That means you have too much rosin on. So now we've learned the parts of the bow. We've learned how to rosin the bow. We've learned the difference between a German and a French bow. Last but not least, let's talk about the bow hold. Now, this is going to be a little weird, and it's going to feel like you're going to drop the bow. If it feels like that, you're doing it right. If it feels comfortable, stable, and like you're not going to drop it, you're not holding it right. I know that doesn't make much sense, but that's the truth of it. For your bow hold, I want you to hold the stick in your left hand so that the bow's not going anywhere. And I want you to shake your right hand out. And I want you to literally drape it over a frog. I call this dead hand. Everything's really relaxed. You're going to lean the whole thing forward, so kind of almost on the side of your first finger. But you want all 4 of your fingers to still be around the side. Don't let your pinky come up top here. It's going to want to, because that's going to make you feel stable. Keep it down around the side. Then, below, this thumb is going to be bent, and it's going to kind of go in that little place at the end of the frog where the frog and the stick and the thumb leather all go together. You're going to want to collapse your thumb like that. Don't do that. Fight that feeling. This feels stable, which means what? It means you're not holding it correctly. So you're going to bend it. And again, most of the time I'm doing this while I'm holding on with my left hand, so I can practice with it, keeping it very, very relaxed. This is what I call TV homework. While you're watching your favorite TV show or Netflix series, hold the bow with your left hand, shake it out, drape it over, lean the whole thing, curve your thumb, and then let go with your left hand and see what happens. You're going to want to drop it. Grab the bow, start over. Do it 10, 15, 20 times. Do it over and over. Cool thing is, when you get ready to play, the bass is going to support your bow. It's not going anywhere. So this bow hold needs to be very relaxed. When you are ready to try to play some open strings, you're going to keep your bow between the bridge and the end of the fingerboard, right in the middle. And we want it to go straight, just like a car down the highway. Don't let it be tilted. Don't let it come way up here. Once your bow hold feels good, try a couple of open strings. Then shake your hand out and start all over again. It takes a while to learn a good bow hold, but once you do, let me tell you, first of all, the whole world will look at you and they'll know that you're a bass player who knows what's going on, and your playing will be much, much better. I hope that helps. Now go practice your bow hold.